Okay, today we are talking about living in Lake Stevens. Yes, Lake Stevens, Washington is a bedroom community. It is a little bit far away from Seattle and Bellevue, but not too far away. And in fact, in the last couple of years, it has been surging in popularity. So we are going to talk all about living in Lake Stevens and whether this is a neighborhood that you would want to buy a house in. So Lake Stevens has been on my mind a lot lately because I just had clients who have gone under contract with their first home in the Lake Stevens area. So I've been driving around, getting lots of videos, seeing lots of houses, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to expect living in Lake Stevens. If you haven't been to my channel before, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm a local real estate agent, and my goal here with this channel is to help you learn the different areas and get an idea for what's out there. And when you're moving to the Seattle or the Bellevue area, Everett, for work, you want to know where to live and what it's like and if you're going to like it. So that's what we do. We profile different neighborhoods and kind of give you the lay of the land. If you want more information about buying a house or choosing the right neighborhood, feel free to reach out anytime by giving me a call or text at 206-578-3438 or go to my website, HomeProAssociates.com. Again, my name is Emily Cressey. I'm with HomeSmart Real Estate in Seattle. But enough about me. Let's dive in on Lake Stevens. So first, we always get you oriented by telling you where the community is that we are going to be talking about today. And Lake Stevens is north of Snohomish. Do you know where that is? So we're north of Seattle and north of Bellevue. We're in Snohomish County, and if you drive north on I-5, you get to Everett, which is one of our bigger towns in the Puget Sound area. And directly east of Everett is where you're going to find Lake Stevens. Now, this area was originally, like a lot of Western Washington towns, it was originally founded as a mill town, cutting down trees, sawing them into logs, putting them on the water, shipping them around, that type of a thing. And as you can see in Everett, we still do have some logging and lumber industry in the area, but for the most part, they had some fires and that kind of industry moved out, and it became a more popular resort destination. There is a lake in Lake Stevens, and so a lot of people were choosing to move there to be kind of having their vacation property around the lake. So if you go to Lake Stevens now, you will see waterfront properties and that type of thing. I would say in the 1960s, it became more of a commuter location where people would actually live there and commute into one of the cities for work. So then I would say it was more like long-term working residents, and that was the time period when a lot of the homes, not quite exactly around the lake, started getting built. Now, depending where you go in Lake Stevens, there are a lot of different types of feelings to the area. So one big highway going through here is Highway 9, and this is a big north-south highway. I guess it goes, Snohomish is a city, and it's also the name of the county. So don't get confused. There's the Snohomish County, and there's also the city of Snohomish. And so the city of Snohomish is to the south of Lake Stevens. So Highway 9 comes up through the city of Snohomish and up through Lake Stevens, and it continues to the north. North of Everett is Marysville, and that's along the I-5 corridor. North of Lake Stevens, you're going to get into Granite Falls and Arlington, less developed areas. It's one of the further north areas that's not on I-5. It's pretty far out there, and it's going to be easy to commute into places like Everett, Marysville, Linwood, North Seattle. But if you were trying to work south of either downtown Bellevue or downtown Seattle, you'd have quite a ways to go, and even getting into those cities would probably take you over an hour during rush hour. So the type of home that my clients were interested in looking in were 3 or 4 bedroom homes around I guess under 700 was kind of their threshold. So we looked at a lot of split level homes where they had 2 or 3 bedrooms up top and then some sort of a finished basement with a rec room and or bedroom in the downstairs area, and these were running around $650,000. They ended up getting one for $650,000 right off of Highway 9 in Lake Stevens. So this has certainly been an area that's growing in population. Right now the population of Lake Stevens is about 33,000. And it's also become a popular area. I showed some townhomes there that were new construction townhomes. So I went out to Lake Stevens today with a client looking at some new construction townhomes. They were beautiful and gorgeous, as new construction always is, very nicely presented. The interesting thing, they're finishing this development in December, so it's got another 6 months on it. The ones they're selling now are going to be available to close on in October. And when they started being built in 2020, they were selling for $450,000, and then by the time I was showing them a year older, they were finishing a year later. They were finishing the last couple of constructions and sales of the buildings. They had gone up $100,000 in value, and they were selling them for $550,000. So just to give you an idea, those are the types of prices that you're going to be looking at in the Lake Stevens area. Now, as far as industry, there are some bigger chain locations, Safeway grocery store, tire stores, gas stations, that type of thing, especially along Highway 9. And then as you're closer to the lake and the waterfront areas, they're going to have more mom and pop types of cafes. So this is not an area where there's going to be a lot of nightlife. There's going to be maybe like the local high school, sports teams, plays, that type of a thing. But there are no high-rise buildings here. It's really a suburban feeling area, maybe slightly rural in some parts. You can feel like you're out in the country. You can probably find places where you can have land and horses and more space and more privacy and that type of a thing. But there are not a lot of condos, apartments, high-rise skyscraper types of buildings here. So if you want to get away from it all, you want a little bit cheaper prices, and you still want a sense of community and, gas stations, places to eat and that type of a thing, Lake Stevens is a really good bet. If you don't like what you're seeing here and you don't think Lake Stevens is for you, check out neighboring communities of Marysville to the north, Everett to the west toward Puget Sound, Snohomish to the south, and Linwood south of Everett on I-5. It's going to have tons of retail, great freeway access to both Bellevue and Seattle, and Alderwood Mall as well. So thanks so much for watching. I'll look for you on the next video.